Well, hey, everybody. I want to speak to Hulk Hogan's situation. I actually met Terry Bollea in Memphis, in Tennessee, at the Giant Foods. He had a gym across the way. His gym was there, and he would come in after he'd worked out with his big Lincoln, and he would buy his lemon yogurt, great big tubs, and his food, and he'd leave. And the gentleman was very polite to me. He's about 7 years older than me. He was much bigger than me. And to this day, I'm 55 years old in October. To this day, he's one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. The most impressive thing I ever saw was the Grand Canyon. I mean, it was unbelievable. I drove there with my little Chinese wife at the time in 1987, and it was just incredible. It was just incredible beauty, incredible majesty. Now, Hogan, or Terry, or however you want to call the Hulk, I've never seen a chest like that in my life. And I remember he had done a job for a guy named Ron Bass, who was a great heel in Memphis, and the Memphis wrestling program was just incredible. It got 90%. Everybody watched it. Everybody watched it. That was a great territory. In any case, he would come in and he was polite. Even though he did the job, I asked him questions about the matches on him, and he answered me. He didn't get smart with me. He didn't pull rank on me. He didn't do anything. He was very polite to a fault. To a fault. Because he could have crushed me. He could have crushed me. The guy was just huge. Huge. So here we go. 35, 36 years later, many years later, and now we find out that he's a racist. He's a terrible person. He said terrible things. And I'm not going to repeat those ugly words because I am not a person. I'm not George Carlin or Louis C.K. or any of these other white guys that can say that word because they're so hip, people don't care. I'm not that hip. All right, but Mr. Hogan, Mr. Bollea, if you will, he used the word. He used the dreaded word. And supposedly he's been erased from history, from the WWE. He never existed, even though he's the most important wrestler of the last 50 years. The last 50 years. Rivaled only by possibly Andre, maybe Harley Race, I don't know. But he's important. He's important. He brought show business to wrestling as nobody ever had. He was a major event. He did something that was tremendous. How much of it was the coach? How much was it the player? Just like is Joe Montana, Bill Walsh, is Hulk Hogan, Vince McMahon? No, I don't think so. He already had Hulk Hogan before he showed up in WWF. He was already there. Vince completely co-opted. And I think, I have no proof of this, I think this was all orchestrated by Vince McMahon because Vince McMahon has been accused of racism. Ahmed Johnson accused him of it. And several other wrestlers. The Natural Butch Reed accused him of it. Some other guys. Another guy, Ron, some other, who played football for the University of Florida, accused him of it. Sorry, I forgot the name. But anyway, they accused Vince McMahon of racism. And none of these, and I've listened to countless one of these shoot interviews where these people supposedly, and countless videos, one after another. And in the last 2 years, the WWE has done racist stuff. One of their people, one of their writers, accused one of their talents, Alberto Del Rio, called him ugly names, told him a racist joke, and then they fired Alberto. They didn't fire the guy who said racist. They took up for the racist. They're very racist people, and now they're accusing one of their people who went on a show with a bunch of hip African-American guys, and they're all laughing about what he said. So obviously they weren't insulted. So why are we supposed to be insulted? We're not supposed to be insulted. They're throwing this off on Mr. Hogan, Terry, if you will, and they're making him the bad guy to take away from their own deeds, and they paid off Hulk. That's what happened. I'm sure of it. I have absolutely zero proof of it. Zero. And I'm not going to look into it. I'm not going to check it out. I don't care. That's just my opinion, my feelings about it. Period. Out!